All right. I believe we are live. Guys, took a little longer than expected to get all this working and get live, but we are here. So for those of you guys, if it's your first time seeing the stream, welcome. I'll give you a little bit of context here. So my name's William Samasegi, been a tech founder for the past 10 years, and on this stream, we are building two companies live in real time. You're going to see the behind the scenes, the things that no company would really ever show. We're going to show them here. So those two companies, to give a background, one of them is a company called SAS Mining. We make it possible for you to begin mining Bitcoin with renewable energy. We have some amazing listeners like Stefan in the chat. Dude, I am so sorry to have kept you waiting. I'm giving the quick breakdown for those of you who are new as well. So the other company that we're building live is a company called MyWorker AI. This company is, if you're a founder, a business owner, and you're trying to scale your sales, MyWorker is an AI sales software that will help you get your customers on calls. Imagine having an entire enterprise sales force of agents that are working 24/7 to reach out to and research your customers to help you get your product in their hands, your service in their hands, help them out. So those are the two companies. The way that the stream's going to go and the way that we always run it. And once again, welcome, Stefan. Apologize for the delay getting live. We always go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. Today, we ran into a number of backlogs and then issues getting live. But we are live. What we're doing today on the stream, we have an action-packed stream here. The first 30 minutes, we're going to go through all the news. So in the news section, you're going to hear about breaking news. Like, this is current. This is happening in real time. It's almost like we're there. It's almost like you are witnessing it. But you're getting on this stream, you get the background of AI. You're going to see AI's take. We're going to do some brainstorming, and you're also going to get my take on all of the news. After the news section on the stream, we are diving into a number of different calls. We're going to be talking with an existing customer. We're going to be talking with a potential investor. And then later in the stream, we actually have another investor conversation, but this is for our podcast. So we got a podcast going at 1:30 p.m. Pacific after the other investor call ahead of time. So action-packed stream, super excited. There's going to be a lot of activity going from one thing to the next to the next. And because we have our call in 20 minutes with this customer, we got to get right into the news here. We're going to get into it. So September 23rd, what's going on? First piece of news, first hook, EU to Apple, Google, Microsoft, clean up scams or pay. What could this mean? Clean up scams or pay. So what's happened? Under the Digital Services Act, Brussels sent formal info requests to Apple and Google and Microsoft on how they combat scam app listings. Non-compliance can mean fines up to 6% of global revenue. Guys, if we had more time on the news, I could tell you so many stories. But the one thing that I will say is scams are getting sophisticated. Hackers they have access to tools that previously would have been impossible to be able to do in terms of deep fakes, in terms of what becomes possible on the social engineering side. It's scary. And this here with the online financial scams, there's a lot of money at stake for people if you're going to get scammed, but then there's a lot on the line for these companies in terms of revenue up to 6%. I mean, who knows? I don't think that the fines are going to go that high, but non-compliance would mean fines up to 6% of global revenue. And at some point in the future, I could tell you a little bit more on this, but we're going to keep it rolling. Also, what's up, Leo? Shout out to Leo in the chat from InfoStation. Next piece of news. Amazon versus FTC, Prime, dark patterns, trial starts. So what's going on here? Prime on trial, Amazon Prime. Did Amazon trick signups? Oh, and Andres is in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, the boys. You know, later on, if you guys are lucky, those of you watching on stream, we might even loop in Andres and Leo in for a little VR action. You know, they've got some cool tools. I don't own the tools yet. I'm going to own it, but that could potentially be seen on stream. So with Amazon versus FTC, what's going on? So in DC federal court, the FTC's case alleging deceptive prime enrollment and cancellation flows kicked off. Okay, so Amazon says design choices were lawful and pro-consumer. You know, many of you guys probably have used Amazon before. You know, what do you think? Do you think that, you know, there's any deceptive enrollment or cancellation flows, or do you think that, or do you agree with Amazon? Were these design choices lawful and pro-consumer? Well, why does this matter? So a ruling could reset growth user experience norms. Growth UX norms could be changed, guys, with this. Expect stricter standards for consent, cancellation, and auto renew across SaaS. Well, look, I will say this. Some of these auto renews and things with software, it's a pain in the ass. And let's be real, I'd actually be curious how much, like what percent of software business would collapse if some of these rules were removed, or if there was like, you know, you need to opt in every month to keep the service running. That would be crazy. Okay. So, I mean, at this point in time, I disagree with AI's take on this last point of, you know, running compliance audits, doing all this stuff right up front. I think that this is more of a react. There's a lot of things to do when you're building a startup. You know, build it, get product market fit, scale it, and you know, if you become Amazon, then you know, and you could start running compliance audits to this degree. All right. Next piece of news: China tells brokers to pause RWA tokenization in Hong Kong. Okay. The hook here: Beijing taps brakes on tokenizing real-world assets. So before I talk about what happened here, it is very interesting to see the news every single day, because like I didn't know about any of these things, and now we're about to dive into China. Okay, so China's securities watchdog asked certain mainland brokers to pause RWA tokenization businesses in Hong Kong, signaling caution on the offshore boom. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I would not want China's securities watchdogs after me. You know, that seems pretty serious. Okay, so why does this matter though? So cross-border crypto fintech plays face policy whiplash. Fundraising and custody structures could need reroutes. So outside of this news, I'll give you guys a little bit of history here. So back when this was around 2018, so in the earlier days of Bitcoin as a whole, but also in the earlier days of me being in the industry with SaaS mining, one of the things that you heard a lot of talk of this back in 2018 was this two discussions. One was the actual utility of blockchain. So how useful is blockchain really? You saw a lot of companies trying to throw blockchain on something where blockchain wasn't really solving a problem. It was more so, hey, look at us. We're using blockchain. Give us money, fund us. And a lot of the blockchain applications weren't needed or kind of useless. But then there were the subset of blockchain related utility tokens that almost fell into a new category of like, okay, this could actually be useful and make things better. And one of those conversations, kind of separate from utility tokens, was tokenized securities. So tokenizing real world assets. And there's a number of benefits for this. One of the benefits could be liquidity, right? Instead of you owning a building or something, needing to sell the whole asset. If you tokenize that asset, the liquidity is much higher. It's much easier for you to get out of that investment, not needing to liquidate the whole thing. I mean, I don't need to explain this. This is pretty obvious. It's like, okay, tokenize the securities, you get, it should raise the value of the asset in total because there's a premium there. It's like that is additional value to you as a holder of that asset because now, if need be, you can sell it much more easily and instantaneously and have that transaction settled. So it's tying that all back here. I've seen, and if you've been sitting in the industry or even just looking and you've seen this discussion continue to happen. It's like, oh, let's tokenize this, tokenize that. And to be clear, I actually think that it's a great idea. I mean, there is a clear benefit of if you have an efficient system that has tokenized securities. I've been a little out of the game for a little while on that end, so I can't name the top platforms off the top of my head. Like trying to think of them right now. But all that to say, I do think that this is something that is eventually going to happen, but there is always going to be this, something sounds very easy to say. We just said it in like a couple minutes, but actually executing on tokenized securities, having people understand and be educated on them and then want to own that asset, that's a completely different story. And that was, this will be the last point I make on this. That was the thing that surprised me, that was very, very interesting to me, because I actually pursued, said, what if this is an avenue? If you're a startup trying to raise capital and you want to do it in a legally compliant way rather than some unregistered securities token offering, like when you raise a securities through like a tokenized securities offering, you're by definition following the rules of securities laws and then issuing those tokens in a compliant way. The big thing that surprised me when I looked into this is that it's actually just not worth it, because even though it sounds like a better asset, at the end of the day, when you speak with investors about it, there's almost an aversion to it. You'd think that it would make it much better because you as an investor, you've got more liquidity, you can sell portions of your shares. But because it's a new concept, it's much more difficult. I mean, as an investor, it's like you can wrap your head around the stock market. You can wrap your head around, okay, we're buying a part of this private company. You can wrap your head around secondaries. But a new concept of, do you really want to be the guinea pig of owning these tokenized assets on this new tokenized securities exchange? It's like, the whole value there, it's like, it seems a little more risky. It's like, this is more not tried and true yet. This is new. So all that to say, another, just, I don't know too much about the RWA tokenization, but just when you think that you're getting there and it's starting to work out, then you got the watchdogs coming on you. China's securities watchdogs, like, no, let's figure out what's going on here. So anyway, we'll keep it running. But okay, AI's take. And then we're moving on because we have to hop on a call soon. So AI's take. If you touch tokenized assets, model jurisdictional risk. Model, like you got to model out jurisdictional risk and keep a non-RWA path ready, like a traditional SPV. Exactly. That's how they do this. The special purpose vehicles, put the assets in an SPV, tokenize the SPV. Anyway, we've gone on for this news for far too long. Let's move it on. So the next news, Constellation Energy, U.S. nuclear Crane plant restart ahead of schedule. More nuclear watts sooner. Grid relief for data centers. That is the hook. All right. So what's happened here? Constellation Energy said the Crane nuclear station restart is ahead of schedule. The Crane nuclear station restart is ahead of schedule. So this would bring capacity back earlier than expected. So, you might be getting energized earlier. That is uncommon, Most of the time, these things are behind schedule. These guys are claiming they're ahead of schedule. Good for them. So why does this matter? Tight US power markets and AI demand. Every gigawatt counts, of course. Guys, gigawatt is so much energy. So much energy. I mean, it almost doesn't do it justice to just put like GW on paper, because it's a tremendous amount of energy, guys. And so this matters because earlier nuclear output, earlier energy output helps PPA pricing and sitting. So power purchase agreement pricing, uh, and not sitting, siting. I misread that. PPA pricing and siting, which is true. You know, those are when you're standing up a data center, you've got all. It sounds easy, or it sounds easier than it actually is. There's so many different processes, parties, things involved to stand up all these data centers. And, you know, it's pretty clear that there's a lot of money going into this. Okay. AI's take. What is AI's take on this? So for AI or mining loads, pursue long dated PPAs that bundle nuclear or renewables to hedge carbon and volatility. So, yeah, data centers needed for AI and Bitcoin mining. And you want long dated PPAs. This is pretty standard stuff. When we're in the mining industry, you're always looking at that power purchase agreement. Always looking. There's so many sneaky little tricks in there too. I mean, I don't want to derail the conversation because we could talk about this forever, but there's so many sneaky little tricks. Like they'll tell you, oh yeah, your power rate is like well, I guess I can talk about this. I'm not going to give the exact location, but it's like your your PPA. We're going to put it at 3.75 cents, guys. 3.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Oh my goodness! I mean, way cheaper than what any of these guys are getting now. Great deal. I mean, look at this. When you dive into the contract, it is a blended rate. A blended rate. So what does that mean? That means that you've got part of the price that's fixed at a certain cost, which the price was actually fixed, you know, at around that price. I forget the exact amount. But then the other percent, it was blended. So I can't remember. I believe it was 25% of the rate was then tied to the actual grid pricing, the open market, which at the time was far, far lower than where it was even just like a year later. And then fast forward to now, I don't even know what that blended rate would be. So even if you have a longer dated PPA of like 5 or 10 years, that blended rate, it's something to keep in mind. Then again, you take into account inflation, everything else. That's why that blended rate's going to go up, blah, blah, blah. But you know, these are all things that these companies are looking at. People standing up these data centers, sophisticated people. They're looking at every single line item. These PPAs are, uh, yeah, there's a lot that can be put in there. I've read quite a few PPAs in my day. Okay. Next piece of news. I'm gonna have to go through these last two pretty quick. So ASM International cuts 2H outlook on weaker high-end tool demand. Don't know what it means from that title. So what's the hook here? Chip tools wobble. Advanced node demand is uneven. Okay, this is an interesting. We're just gonna keep going. What happened here? I'm not getting much from these initial lines. So Dutch equipment maker ASM guided H2 revenue down 5%, 5 to 10% versus. Okay, so the first half of the year, ASM, the revenue's down 5 to 10% versus the first half of the year. Q4 softer as advanced node order lags. Okay, so we're just kind of reporting on this ASM company. So why does this matter? A cooler tools cycle can signal timing risk for next gen capacity ramps. Watch knock-on effects for GPU supply chains. Okay. So I guess this is just tying into your tool cycle timing. GPU supply chains. All right, what is the AI's take? We're just moving past this quick. So don't assume linear relief on GPU scarcity. Keep second source compute and burst rates in place through 2026. Okay, my quick take on this, there's always going to be the expected supply, and then there's going to be the actual supply of these chips. And in Bitcoin mining, you saw times where it was abundant and pricing was low. And then you had other times where it's impossible to get your hands on freaking chips and pricing was way overpriced. So I don't know the exact uh, cycle, how it looks in the AI world. My guess would be exactly what this is. So that, there's a tremendous amount of demand and you have some delays. And uh, you got to figure out a way to deal with that. All right. Final piece of news. 2 minutes left. UK, US to smooth capital markets access and crypto cooperation. London, DC corridors open, easier listings, clearer crypto rules. So what happened here? UK and US announced work to streamline listings and deepen crypto cooperation across regulation and enforcement. We're trying to streamline listings and deepen that cooperation. Why does this matter? Friendlier cross border financing and clearer digital asset guardrails equals better conditions for fintech and exchange listed tech. So the AI's take is if UI, UK, US capital routes start a dual track readiness uh, gap, IFRS hygiene disclosures, VASP checks. I don't know what VSP is. Um, but yeah, you know, looks like there's some cooperation going on there. So we're gonna wrap up the news there and hop into this meeting. Oops. This is not a CTO meeting. This is with someone who signed up on the platform. To be honest, guys, this meeting could go in so many different ways. I've missed the past few meetings with this guy, so um, might be doing damage control once I hop in here. We are muted. We actually have some meetings to prep for here. All right. Looks like we're We're still waiting. I'm just catching up on some messages uh, as we're gonna use the time. Using the time. Ready? The investor is asking for this information. Do you have this on hand? Or do you want me to put you in touch with them? Alrighty. Well, it looks like we might be off the hook here, guys. We will see. Also, uh, not sure if you guys have been having trouble with your iOS this morning. I have, so I did the new uh, iOS 26. I did the new iOS 26, and it's great. Feels better for sure. But it feels better, but it's just not working with connecting to my AirPods this morning. It's very odd. Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you a little pet peeve of mine. It's not a big pet peeve, but it's a little pet peeve. So because I'm an expert in, uh, yeah, Leo, there is for sure. Oh, is it an update of all the apps that'll fix it? I could try that. I mean, I just, yeah, let me see if I just need to update the iOS again. All right, go to apps and hit the photo at the top. All right, guys, this is Leo is guiding us through how to fix this issue here. Okay, I just clicked my photo at the top, so I'm in my settings. Update them all. I do not see an update button. It looks like everything should is updated. Or I don't see like a red logo telling me to update. Oh, median purchases. Yeah, I slid down. Maybe it is up fully updated. I think I have things on auto update too. Hmm. Okay. Well, guys, kind of happy that this guy is not probably not going to happen. So here's the pet peeve. Uh, I got an outreach. Normally, I get outreaches from like investment partners. Okay, so this is different than like so like an actual fund like that I know reaching out. But I got this random email, and it says, "Hello, William. We have a family office who has strong interest in MyWorker AI. Are you available to discuss this opportunity?" not just gonna hop on anything here. And so then I said, could I get some information on the family office? If it's a fit, I'll reach back out for a call. And he's like, no, I want to hop on a call, and I could share more context on the family office and its approach over a call. I'm like, you reached out to me. You reached out to me. You know what? I'm gonna say this guy feels like a scammer. I'm just gonna be like, actually, wait, maybe if I go to the booking link, I can actually see what firm this is. It just says investment banking introductory. Okay, I'm just gonna say, could you tell me more about your investment bank? I'm not wasting time on calls here. All right. Andres, you think that this has become a corporate podcast? Is this the corporate podcast Inc? Guys, Andres has his running joke. He says that this podcast has become too corporate, or the stream has become too corporate. I don't know what that. How is this corporate? Andres, you tell me, dude. How are you seeing this as corporate? Okay. Actually, Stefan, you bring up a good point. We could take the call with this random investment bank for content. What if these guys are scammers and we just like call them out on stream? You just join on stream. They're trying to run this like little fucking scam, and we just pop them. All right, you know what, Stefan? Because you are the mod, I will give you the decision on this. Should I book with this investment bank potential scam? Oh, actually, yeah. Do you want to do the VR? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna book that right now. Yo, Leo, I'm down. I've got the investor call in 30 minutes. This call is yeah. Let's see here. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Leo, let's hop on. Let's do it. Um, Send me the link to join, like in our WhatsApp group. Guys, so we're speed running the VR thing that I teased later. I said later, we might not even get to this. We might not do it. Bang, we're gonna do it right now. So I've been really excited to do this. So I'm excited. And Stefan, while I'm waiting on Leo to set up the VR room, I'm gonna message this person back, and we'll roll the dice on these guys and see what happens. Oh, he responded right away. All right, I'll book it for Friday. We'll do. Let's do noon on Friday. We'll do that. Oh my God. Okay, these guys actually do seem legit, but they charge $25,000 as an advisory fee to work with them. This call will be free, but they charge 25. Actually, now I'm curious just to see how they like try and sell you on a 25K. Stefan, look at you, man. Stefan has got so much power, dude, just setting this up. He's got the power. All right, guys. We're booking this meeting right now. They have you answer all these questions. They're like, what's your area expertise? Brief description of the company, objective, what industry and vertical? Why do you want to raise capital? I just answered all these things, scheduled the event. All right. Leo, did you send the links? Oh, no, not yet. All right, guys. In a second, Leo will get the link in here and we're going to hop in. And actually, I should use a little bit of this time right now to prep for this investor call. As a heads up, now that I'm looking at it, unfortunately, we are not the host, and I don't think we're going to be able to have our Firefly in. So I'm going to have to probably mute myself during this call. Okay. But we'll have Leo and Andres to keep you guys entertained. All right. This is the I mean, Stefan, it'll still be great. I mean, every single time I've ever hung out with Andres and Leo, it has brightened my day without fail. There's never been a time where it hasn't. All right, guys. So we're actually going to plan for this call here. I'm going to say, could you help provide the best talking points based on your superhuman intelligence and relevant domains as it relates to the topics that we need to nail for this conversation? So we know the exact talking points that will address all of his potential concerns. All right. Oh, guys, this this company is actually definitely not a scam. They are a legit investment bank. I'm like looking at their company now and like this confirmation flow and everything, and these guys are pretty legit seeming. So Here we go. Yes, Stefan is correct. Maybe that's what they want us to think. They built a whole elaborate online presence. All right. Oh, we got a nice intro here. Let's respond. Talk Thursday at 10, 11, or 12. All right. He's down to talk Thursday at 10, 11, or 12. Let's talk with him at let's talk with him at 10 on Thursday. All right. Let's do that. Hey, Eli, thanks for the intro, man. And Mike, it's great to meet you. Those dates, this Thursday sounds good. Let's do 10 a.m. Pacific. What's the best email for you? Or actually, you know what? I'll just toss my email in here and you can fire that off. So 10 a.m. Thursday, Pacific time. Looking forward to chatting more. Peace. All right. All righty. Leo, you got the link? I'm gonna leave my phone. All right, let's see here. Subtraction, just hold that time now. All right. Yeah, I actually think if you look at the market comps in terms of 11x or uh, Artisan, they were raising at much higher valuations, even when they had less product traction and less customers, MRR. Um, so that's another thing that could maybe justify the $15 million valuation. Um, And yeah, in terms of these other things, in terms of pipeline, I would need to double check on the exact number, but you can put in like the, let's see. I mean, I would estimate that it would be like 18 plus in the pipeline, but it's really like the cap is just our ability to be able to manage it in reality. Uh, and then in terms of like that target for MRR, I think that we could actually ramp that up. But I would actually like, I think that there's a lot of strategic questions that we can ask. So rather than like us just diving into these points, I think that there's like a strategic question that we can ask in each of these areas ahead of time before we dive into like our before we dive into like our justification aspects. So with all that said, yeah, if you could help plan all that out, that would be sweet. All right. Leo says that it is in our email. So let's check out our email. Hmm. Leo is correct. Oh, guys, I am pumped.
He's wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What's up, bro?
Oh, oh my God, dude.
What happened?
Andres.
What?
What? Dude, like what? Oh, the way that you're just standing there blinking at me. Oh my, wait, dude,
Yeah, of
what?
course.
Dude, what? How is, what is going on?
I'm using my VR headset, so I guess this is my avatar.
Oh, dude, how did you get assigned this avatar?
I don't know, I just chose the random one on the app. I haven't changed it though. I have to make it sexier.
Dude, this is amazing.
I
Like,
know, right? Bro, I love VR, like the new one from Meta. 10 out of 10, bro.
dude, this is amazing. Oh my God. I love it. Actually is very you look it's almost like we're in a show, like a TV show, and you're like responding real time as if you're in the show. It's like I just got transported into a TV show.
Yeah, we're in the metaverse. We're suck, bro.
Dude, your avatar is actually kind of cool.
I know, right? I mean, I think he's too skinny, but we can fix that. I'll make him like have muscles and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's almost funny. Try a couple different avatars. You can change it in real time.
I don't know. I haven't tried. I know I can do it on the app. Let me see. I think Leo is trying to fix his thing is not been working really well. Let me see.
Oh, so yeah, I saw that Leo was in here and he just left.
Yeah, I can edit it. Can I make him more muscular? What is the muscular body?
Wait, so can you, if I wanted to, could I do the same thing that you're doing right now?
I guess, yeah. I don't know if you need to have like the Meta Quest or something, but I guess you can.
Wait, is the Meta
Oh,
Quest? Let's see.
yeah,
Meta
this is
Quest.
exactly me. Yeah, this is exactly me, bro.
Okay, I'm looking up the Meta Quest.
The number three, Meta Quest 3. Let me see.
Okay, explore Meta Quest 3. That's what you're wearing right now?
I mean, yeah, I'm wearing the Meta Quest 3, yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
Damn,
yeah,
dude.
I'm more muscular now.
You
Nice.
just got buff, dude.
I
That's
know,
way
bro.
easier than
Now,
the gym.
yeah. So, like, now I look more accurate.
Dude, the skinnier one was fun. Like it was very shocking coming in. It was funnier. Like just seeing you there, like kind of sitting, just like so vulnerable in your Meta
So
Quest 3.
vulnerable. No way, bro.
Yeah, dude, you just
No,
look
no, no.
so like like almost like I'm like, dang, I almost feel bad for him just sitting there in his
Yeah.
Meta Quest 3. Okay, so I how is the
Okay.
Meta Quest?
Whoa, what the fuck? No way, bro. No, this hairstyle sucks. Damn.
Oh, this is funny.
What are those like, bro? Like my receding
Yeah,
hairline to the max.
why did it give you a receding hairline?
I don't know, bro. Fucking MetaQuest.
I mean, we just saw you age like 20 years. Like go
Yeah,
from like a
that's
skinny
the
kid
start
to
of
like receding hairline,
undergoing.
more buff.
Okay, now it should be more accurate. Let's see. Nice. Now it's better.
Damn, you got the flow going. Wait, are there
Exactly.
hairstyles like mine?
I guess there is, yeah.
Let's put your hairstyle, or let's put my hairstyle. Put
Oh, nice.
the long hair.
The long hair, I'm gonna become like William Samosegi.
Dude, it's actually crazy how long.
Nice.
I sometimes forget how long my hair is because I always have it in like this bun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like,
Why are you laughing, bro?
dude, I mean, I could see you actually kind of looking like this. if
This is
you
how I
like,
used to look when I was like skinny and buff.
yeah, I was gonna say like if if you if you got like ripped and then grew out. I mean, would you be able to grow a beard like that?
Not sure actually. I haven't tried in a long time. Last time I tried to have like a proper beard was in the pandemic, and I looked like, I don't know, like a lumberjack. Yeah.
Honestly, it looks pretty great. Oh shit. I do have this investor call in a couple minutes. I'm probably can't stream this. Um,
Okay.
but dude, get Leo in here so you guys can chat and I'll just take the call on my phone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully he'll fix that by then. In
Yeah.
the meantime, I will
Oh,
probably be watching a movie or something else. Haha. No one will know.
dude, this is so funny hearing your voice and this avatar. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'll be right back. Dude, get Leo in here. Is Leo with you? Or no, he's not with you. He's in
No, no, no. He's trying to fix his own thing. Damn,
yeah, try out some other hairstyles. Stefan, tell Andres which one
what the
are you in
fuck,
Twitch,
bro?
Andres?
I just broke my chair. What the fuck? Am I that heavy? No way, bro.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Damn, I almost flick all the way back, bro. That's crazy. Oh, oh no, it's fine. Okay, nice.
Oh, thanks for the sub, AJ. Thank you.
So, bro.
Damn,
So, like,
Andres, I left for 1 second and we got a sub.
nice. So luckily, I didn't break the chair. It's just like it wasn't like properly adjusted. So I almost died because of that.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy.
That is so funny. All right. Fuck. I gotta think how I'm gonna do this. Am I gonna take it on my phone? On my computer? Damn. You know what?
Mm.
I think just I'm gonna have to Andres, I have an idea. Just because I think it is entertaining just watching your avatar. Can you mute your mic? Because I don't want your voice to come through while I'm on the call. And I'm just gonna take
Okay.
the call on the computer, but yeah. I just will I'm gonna mute the output to the stream so they can't hear the call. So if you
Okay.
basically if you just like stay in the call but mute, you're still gonna be able to see me. I'm gonna
Okay.
be muted. All right, word. Yeah, just mute yourself real quick, and then I think we're good to go. And then I'll be here. I'll on. Do you want me to mute myself in here, or do you want to leave it unmuted? Okay, cool. I think I'm all set. It's oh wait, I gotta mute this too. Um, all right, here we go. you guys can, so people can hear you now. They can hear us. Should I break the news or not? Now they can hear us now. Should I break the news or not?
Depends on you. Actually, I think you should wait until it's fully
Wait until the
confirmed.
money in the bank.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like otherwise you can fuck it up.
Wait until the money in the bank.
Oh, I can hear a little bit of an echo from you guys.
That's me. Let me find the. I was watching your stream.
Ah, yo, Stefan is still here. Guys, Stefan is the man, dude. Stefan's the man. He was here. Also, Stefan, let me know in the chat, how was it? Like, there wasn't any sound, right? I'm always worried about these things because it's like,
Yeah, I know.
Oh, this
What
Twitch.
happens-
so you, I mean, Leah, while I was on the call, you were like putting through calls, and I got like worried when I was on the call because I'm like, oh shit, is this being like broadcast? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
so you were scaring him. Damn.
Yeah, no, I was like kind of like shitting my pants, but I was like, it doesn't look like. All right. Oh shoot, dude, I got a podcast with the guy from Emerging VC in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Damn.
I gotta hop.
You're so famous now, Will. We can't capture you.
Dude, what are you talking about? we're talking on a daily basis. Dude, I talk with you guys like way more than my family. Like,
Me
Well,
too.
all right, let's.
It's true.
Yeah, like if you think about it.
I mean, we all do,
mean,
but I feel it's not enough.
yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Guys, we are
So,
out
did
here
you-
wheeling and dealing.
You should register for more events, especially in San Francisco, bro.
Oh, I need to register to events in LA. I didn't register to anything in LA. I like booked the week of LA week on my calendar, and I looked. There's not a single event. I'm like, oh shit! I really need to apply for something.
Yeah, I gotta apply for some stuff.
At least the A16Z.
All right, I gotta get this podcast room ready, get my questions all set.
I'm also on my VR headset, Will, but I just can't get shit to work for some reason. I got like the earlier meeting when you saw Andre. I got him into the call and we were both talking, and then just mine just broke, stopped connecting. So I switched to another app, and now I'm on the WhatsApp inside the VR. So this is the VR WhatsApp. That's how Andres is able to talk to you like that. And for some reason, it's not sharing my character and stuff. So I probably need to. I didn't update, but I don't know if it finished. There's always update with these devices, man. It's kind of annoying.
I mean, with yours, you haven't used it for a while, so.
Yeah. Did you know there's a game? Once we're done, I'll show you that game. Basically, I own properties in that game. I paid for properties. I have 3 houses.
Damn, you're
I swear
balling.
to God. And one of them,
We got the massive,
It
like,
tripled
landlord of
in
the
price.
metaverse.
I got a penthouse in a tall building.
We got the landlord of the metaverse. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy? Yesterday I was watching cars from my window wearing the VR, and I can see all the cameras and LiDAR signals coming out of cars through the VR, because, you know, when you switch it to the clear mode, you can see the sensors sending signals.
Yeah.
So you can, if there's any spy camera in your home, you can find it. Like my robot is sending a beam of LiDAR, I can see it, which is kind of cool.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right, guys. I actually think that I gotta jump real quick. I need to like
Yeah.
go to the bathroom and get ready for the recording.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
But lads, we also Andres, I'm loving your I orchestra post from today, or the one that I liked today.
Me too, bro. Like, I'm gonna
Your
post it
guys'
a
brandings
lot more.
looks dope.
I know, bro. Like, I'm choosing a really cool style. It's like really weird combination that I found on TikTok that I loved, and then I basically took screenshots of all of that and made my own art style based on that.
Dude, it's pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you, bro.
We'll let you fuck it if you want.
Okay. On that note, I think I got to run to this podcast. Okay, let's see here. Dig into.
Damn. Plus, I need to make my dinner. That's crazy. Time flies.
Oh, Andres, do you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Go and stand in front of a mirror, and then you can see the reflection of your camera, but you have to make it on that clear mode where you see the room around you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
of
see the
course.
reflection of your camera heading from the mirror.
I'll be right back.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see. Where's the mirror? Here. Yeah, here it's fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me see.
You.
I mean,
For
I don't
some
see anything.
reason,
I just see myself with the headset. Bro, I look
my
so goofy.
restroom
What the
has a
fuck?
flashing light.
Mine, no. Mine is just regular.
No, it's flashing. It's like there's a camera or something.
No, mine is not flashing.
My restroom is.
Really? Damn, bro.
Yeah.
You got a camera. Someone's been like watching you naked all this time.
Let me see. I turned off the light.
Someone's trying to show you that they know you, bro. I would be careful.
Oh, that's crazy. Yo. What's that reflection? There's a light flashing.
Damn, bro. You should look into that. That's crazy. You actually have a camera there.
Oh, it's a flashing light from the outside. Where is this coming from?
Oh, the neighbors, they have a hidden camera? Oh,
Oh,
shit.
that's a LiDAR. Can you believe that robot LiDAR reflecting on a mirror in the restroom?
No
And I
way.
can see
What?
it. Yeah,
Damn, that's crazy.
that's a robot LiDAR. That's so crazy. Damn.
Okay, so I have chicken.
I'm checking my restrooms just in case there's something.
Okay.
You never know these apartments.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I wouldn't trust anything.
Man, I can see the LiDAR reflecting off the walls, even though I'm not looking. I can't even see the robot. I can see the LiDAR of the robot. Can you believe?
Damn.
Andre? Yeah, it's flashing LiDAR. And every time you walk in front of the robot, it will trigger the LiDAR. It'll start working again. Now I see it again. Damn, it's scanning. That's so cool. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. You know, that would be a cool social media post for Envo Station LiDAR.
Yeah.
Because you could see the LiDAR, how it's going, and you could see that if it's what's like, you can visualize the coverage of it. That's so cool. Damn.
All right.
Daddy's
What's
back.
up, bro?
What's up? I had to go to the bathroom. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Okay.
I'll call you after I finish up.
Yeah, sure,
All right.
bro.
Love you.
Yeah, I need to.
All right. Guys, we got some mega news from that other call. I'm not gonna give any names quite yet, but we have decided on a amazing lead investor. Okay. And he's a beast. and we agreed on the terms for a $1 million investment. Not Mr. Beast. But I am fired up. It's not just the capital too. He's bringing a lot more than just the money, which I really like. And I really think that he's going to be a great partner to help take us to, I mean, guys, at MyWorker, we've got a massive vision, huge market, and it's no easy task to go and to do something like that and to build a company like that. And so, dude, what is going on? The podcast, dude, this Riverside podcast software is not live right now. Let's see. Yes, Stefan, he's got a lot of connections. A lot of very good connections. Guys, we are wheeling and dealing. I wish I could have brought you in for that conversation, but you know, that would have sucked to blow a $1 million deal. So, okay, let's see. I'm gonna join as the host. Alrighty. Let's see here. Gotta get my notes. All right. That. Gotta get our screen situated. All right. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get this looking good for you. Okay. Stefan. So MyWorker is a private company. We're not on the stock market. Like technically a stock is like ownership equity in a business. David, how's it going?
Hello.
What are, out of curiosity, what are the trophies in the background from?
Oh, what is that? Some random tennis stuff. Nothing important, but this doesn't seem to allow me to either blur or put a virtual background on it.
Okay. Let me see if there's
on Zoom or Google. I always put a virtual background.
I see. Yeah, let me see if there's a way that I can do that from my end. And as I'm trying to pull that up, I love to see that you're a tennis player. I played tennis back in college.
Nice.
And growing up.
Cool. Unfortunately, I didn't start until I was later in life. I'm jealous of all those who learned as kids and have that awesome form.
How long have you been playing for?
About 15 years or so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of a midlife crisis thing when I was turning 40 and realized I have no retirement hobbies and decided to join a country club and learn golf and tennis and kind of stuck with the tennis. And
I've been trying to learn I've been trying to pick up and learn the golf side, and it's been difficult.
That's a frustrating sport, isn't it?
Yeah, very frustrating, especially because I feel like there are other ones that you can kind of Oh, it looks like that's not background. There are other sports that you can kind of just, if you can move around well and have some athleticism, it kind of helps. But
Mm.
yeah, in tennis, or in golf, it really is like you got to get the form down.
Yep, yep. No, it's yeah. Pickleball's taking over the world here because pickleball is one of those sports like you can learn in a day and feel like you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, yeah. My parents, they love pickleball. They'll play at the club and
Mhm.
get a good sweat in. I'm looking at Riverside, and I'm not sure if they have a way to blur the
Yeah,
background,
that's fine. Yeah,
but
I've had that problem before, and it depends what version you have. I guess there's some pro features or whatever, but
yeah.
that's okay. No
Okay.
worries.
Cool, man. Well, I'm really excited for the conversation and excited to hear more about your background and dive into, some of the questions I'd sent over. So,
Yeah.
um, I guess to kick things off, I should definitely record that. Click the record button. That would be a good thing. Um, all right. So now we're technically live here recording on Riverside. Super, super excited for this conversation. We have the one, the only, the legendary David Mandel. I mean, you do quite a few things. So I know that one of them you're a managing partner at Emerging VC, but I'd be curious to hear a little bit more about your journey and how you got into investing. And
Mhm.
I'm super excited later in the conversation to dive into some of the things you've learned and how you assess it after you know having done so much of it at such a high level.
Great. Thank you, William. Thanks for having me on your show here. As you mentioned, I'm David Mandel. My kind of day job is managing partner at Emerging Ventures Capital, which is a small venture fund manager my partner and I run. We're on our third vehicle. We invest in B2B, US-based and Canada-based tech startups at the seed stage, typically focusing on late seed, focus on execution. And besides that, I'm a very active angel investor, and I've been an angel investor now for about 15 years, which is how I got into 2019, finally deciding to kind of formalize that and start a fund. So if you take a step back from that, I was an operator for over 25 years, about 28 years before getting into investing. And, if you take a step even before that, um, go full circle, back in college, I was a dual major of applied math and computer science and actually was really curious about AI. And unfortunately, it was the wrong timing and it wasn't quite there. But I did have an undergraduate of computer science and applied math. And then in graduate school, it was just math and passed the master comps, got the master's and dropped out and never stayed for the doctorate and decided to go into business. And turned out okay, built and exited 4 businesses that were all underwriting balance sheet kind of companies, companies that were either in finance or insurance, taking risk with their own money. So we had second largest non-standard auto insurance underwriter in California. We had a regional subprime auto lender, and then a couple others. And it was an interesting ride, but I'm a lifelong underwriter from that. And the way I got into angel investing is interesting. I knew nothing about that world, and I was all in on what I was doing. I would attend conferences that were around like the legalese of our industry and so forth, and was kind of oblivious to what was going on next door in Silicon Valley with technology. And around 2011, 2012, um, I had vendors come to me with my role at the time of running both an insurance company and a finance company, and offering us some new solutions that seemed like magic at the time. And they would then do a proof of concept. They gave us some POC. It's like, okay, let us prove it to you. And they would do a POC, and this stuff actually worked. So, for example, you're going back now almost 15 years, but that it's what you would call, say, natural language processing and unstructured data. They would take, say, huge reams of unstructured claims notes from a claims database and give you insights every night and tell you all the connections that you're not seeing through the claims notes, through unstructured data, which at the time seemed like magic. It was before, obviously, everything we have in AI today. And that really got me interested in what was going on. I started looking into the whole world of insurtech and fintech and what's going on in technology, started attending technology conferences in Silicon Valley because it would pique my interest back to what I wanted to do back when I was in college. And, long story short, went way down the rabbit hole of tech and started getting really involved in angel groups and tech summits and everything else, started becoming a very active angel investor and technology investor to a point where I said, I want that to be my day job. And where technology is today is amazing. I love starting businesses. I love the product side. When they get bigger, like say when you have 600 employees and it's all about HR and compliance and dealing with regulators, it's not fun anymore. So I did a process, got investment bankers, got out of my two businesses at the time, which were pretty large regional operators, and decided to become a full-time tech investor and help the next generation of tech founders invent the future. I thought it was super cool and super amazing. I want to be a part of that in some way or another. And I figured, okay, I missed the boat on being one of them, but I can support them. And,
An amazing story.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got to where I am today. So I'm an operator turned investor, which is actually pretty common in Silicon Valley. Now, when I talk to a lot of other investors, more than half of the investors I meet started as operators. They were tech founders, had a startup, had an exit, maybe a couple exits, and eventually always start angel investing on their side and eventually get more involved in the investing and less involved in the operating, and somehow either wind up on the VC side or somewhere in the ecosystem helping founders of the next generation and not necessarily starting another. And for me, that was actually the motivation. It's like, okay, if I'm busy enough helping others and through that get to see and reminded at how hard it is to be a founder and an operator, it will keep me away from doing it again. I want to, otherwise I would have the itch to go start something. And by helping everyone else and being involved in it, it will be a constant reminder of how hard it is and be thankful that I'm on this side of the fence. I'm on the other side now and allow me to stay here without feeling the itch to go back to the other side.
Yeah, it's it's an amazing seat to be in, to be able to scratch that itch. And your journey, what I'm gonna try and understand, I'm very curious, is how that mindset has shifted over time. And it seems like moving back from undergrad, focus on math, computer science, and then moving into the operator world, it's like you're growing along that entire journey. You're learning new things. It's shaping your perspective on how you would approach different things. And then you eventually got to that side where you're deciding, hey, I love angel investing, and you start going into investing in companies. And so I'm really curious, and this question's aimed at understanding what that mindset kind of looked like when you first were getting started. And just like any entrepreneur, whenever you're in a field, you're going to take hits, you're going to have wins, you're going to have a mindset shift along that journey. And so we could start it when you started angel investing, or even earlier if there are certain mindset like aha moments or shifts that you had throughout that entire journey. I'd be really curious how your view and perception on different things has changed over time.
Okay. So, yeah, good question. As a lifelong underwriter, I've been learned to be a disciplined underwriter and kind of get over the FOMO kind of aspect of it. Especially on the auto finance side, we had a company that basically financed used cars through mostly used car dealers, also some through new car dealerships, to subprime auto buyers, and we said no a lot, and we were perfectly fine with that, and we're perfectly fine with dealers coming to us and saying, hey, well, your competitors approved this deal. Don't you want it? It's like, nope, we're happy. Go ahead, give it somewhere else. And we actually had a big sign on the wall in our underwriting department for the auto finance company. I can still see him clearly in my eyes today. And it's kind of representative of my philosophy till now. And it said, when in doubt, say no. And that's kind of my motto. That's my motto that I carried forward till now. You don't even have to be able to articulate why, but if something doesn't feel right, just say no. And the way Warren Buffett kind of phrased, I think it was Warren Buffett, and I think what he said was, or one of the models he has a lot of kind of smart little models, but one of them is that we don't have to do every good deal, but every deal we do has to be good. And
well said.
That's really the thinking of not falling into the FOMO trap. It's like there's a lot of good deals, and he was always taking criticism for missing out on all these waves of things, and everyone said, oh, he's the old geezer that doesn't get it and his time has passed. And he was usually proven right to skip on all the hype cycles. And I took the same philosophy to my angel investing, to skip on a lot of the hype philosophies and be fine saying no. And I'm fine with missing out on a lot of good deals. And I don't need to do thousands and thousands and thousands of deals. And there's a lot of great deals, but if I don't feel comfortable about them, I just pass on the whole sector, and that's fine. We can get to this later, but that's kind of where I am for the last 18 months with generative AI. It's been the most frustrating 18 to almost now 24 months, where I have to go to events, everything's all about AI, and I'm saying no to almost everything. Actually, I wrote a blog post about this after the last YC batch, I think back in early June. I wrote a blog post about the most recent batch where it was more than 50% agentic AI, and how I'm not investing in any of it just because it's another wave. And it's like, yes, it's the next. I'm super excited for where that's going, but at the same time, we don't need thousands and thousands of the startups all doing the same thing, and 99.9% will fail, and I can't tell them apart, so I don't invest in any of them. I'm okay passing on that whole wave and kind of watching and see where it lands. And it's fine. And I'm probably missing out on some really possible unicorns and decacorns, but I can't pick the winners from that. So I'm avoiding the whole category for now. I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm staying current on the technology and on the trends, but I'm not investing.
As you were talking too, I like the analogy you drew with Warren Buffett. The thing that popped into my mind was like the Warren Buffett of early stage investing, like the Warren Buffett approach, early stage
I like
investing.
to feel that way. I like to feel like I'm a value investor for early stage investing.
Yeah, it's almost like a value investor, almost, it's not a direct analogy, but almost like a first principles type of thinker is like kind of the vibe I get to a certain degree of just like really trying to understand what are the building blocks here that that make it. So I guess on the underwriting side, I'd be curious, like, how do you look at that underwriting on these deals for the angel side?
Right. So whether it's as an angel investor or whether it's as a manager of a fund, it's really the same principles. And there are other investors that claim they can come in really early and they just bet on the team. And for the most part, I call bullshit on that, because very few really do, except for venture studios, and they have a different model. And I kind of like that model too, in a different way, and want to do something in that space. But my point is that as an underwriter, I need something to underwrite. And I can't just look at a team and an idea and know who's going to make it and who's not. So what I learned to focus on after seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of deals is execution. For me, what gets me excited is what I call execution, and others can call it traction, but it's more than just that. That's one piece of it. It's really, teams that get shit done. They you have a small team that, builds, there's no excuses. They will build it. They will figure it out. They'll build it. They'll sell it. They'll get the right people to pay for it. And often the right people, when you're talking to B2B tech, means large enterprises. And that's what gets me impressed. And, it's one thing to have a enterprise tech startup that has one pilot program, because it always turns out that, okay, you used to work for the CFO there, and that's how you got in, and that's not repeatable. So, you can have one great logo, but when you have a repeatable, scalable sales process into enterprise, and you somehow can do that, because that's something I can't do. It's like, you can have an idea and you can build something, but can you actually somehow go out there and get the right buyers at large enterprises, get their attention, and get them to not only agree to pay for, but actually implement your tech, despite all the other projects they have and all the competition they have internally for resources. If you got that done and you went live and got a live happy customer in enterprise, and not just one, but multiple, and you have a whole funnel full of them, that's what gets me excited. So show me you can build a product, show me you can sell the product, show me the right people are willing to pay for it, and you got my attention. And show me that you're doing it in an efficient way. So, limited amount of time and a limited amount of money. That's, efficient in resources in general. And resources for startups are mostly time and money. Time, money, and people, I guess, but people is part of time, because it's multiple, your time is number of people times number of time, right? Is the total time spent on something. And if 3 people built something in 6 months and really got 5 enterprise customers, that's amazing. If it took you, and you did it with $500,000, that's even more amazing. If it took you $5 million and 5 years and a team of 50, that's maybe not so amazing. That's what turns me off. So, that's the corporate way. And when you have sometimes startups that are run by former corporate executives, and they're like, we're raising $10 million. We already spent $20 million to get here and build a concept. Now we're raising another $10 million to implement. It's like, I have no interest in even meeting with them. It's just not how it's supposed to work in my mind for startups. I want them to be scrappy, super efficient, and they're the guys who will deal with whatever comes their way. They'll be able to pivot, which they're ultimately going to have to. They'll have to probably change their pricing model and business model several times as they grow and as they scale and as they deal with different type of customers. And the scrappy, nimble ones will figure it out and survive and thrive eventually, hopefully. But that's never guaranteed. When the other ones are a lot less likely to do so. If you don't know how to get, if you're coming to me and saying, we're raising money so that we can hire a team and build a product, I have no interest in meeting with you. And it's so easy today to just do it that you have no excuse not to.
AI's like removed that barrier that money might have been a barrier to a large degree at that early stage, where now it's with these AI tools and the ability to ship product.
That's what's making it really annoying and crazy now, but as it turns that upside down. But even before AI, coding copilots and all that kind of stuff, you didn't need to go out there and buy a bunch of hardware and set up a server room or any of that, for 2 decades already, with cloud computing. So 5 years ago, any 2 guys can go out there and in 6 months build an MVP for some enterprise software project. It won't be robust. It won't have everything they need, but they can have a decent MVP, and they can go out there and get some enterprise pilots on it and start co-developing it with their customers. And show that there's really some kind of early product market fit, that people actually want what they're building. They didn't need to go out there and say, I'm going to raise $2 million so I can hire a team and build a product. They were able to just go out there and do it.
They just go out and do it.
Maybe even without quitting their day jobs.
It's so interesting hearing how you explain that too, because it seems like there's a large set of investors that will just go directly towards those buckets that you mentioned. Like, okay, we're going to assess the team, and that's their underwriting criteria, where you're almost in an indirect way shortcutting that process, where rather than just checking a box saying, okay, there is a good team, you're looking directly at how the team's performing, which is
Right.
how you would assess a team anyway, you know? So it's like you're going directly to the execution part and
Yeah.
and track record in that way, which
Show me how to do it,
is,
but at the
yeah.
same time, that precludes me from investing in essence at the pre-seed stage for the most part. So I'm focusing more on the late seed, and I've dabbled in some pre-seed for a while, and it's always been frustrating. And so I much rather focus on the later seed when they have that traction, so I have something to underwrite. Because, like I said, I'm an underwriter. I know how to underwrite. I don't know how to evaluate just a team and an idea. That would almost be an anti-portfolio. I have no particular skill set in that area that will give me an edge to say, this team. And to do that, you really maybe have to be a very narrow vertical specialist. If you have really deep technical expertise in a very particular field, then you can judge others in that field, and you have access to maybe others in that particular narrow ecosystem that you're in, and you're investing in your peer group that you see that, okay, this guy's a genius in this area because you're a genius in that area and he's a peer. That
Yeah.
works. But for a generalist, it won't work. For someone like myself, I have no way to really say, I would be really fooling myself to think that I can judge a team and an idea at the early stage. So I gave up on that. I don't even try.
You've, in a way, with your background, found the lane where you've got that competitive edge or knack for being able to identify things. And it makes sense actually going slightly later than that pre-seed stage where you have something to underwrite, which is, seems like your expertise, like your competitive edge in many ways.
Yep.
So going off of that, like from the investing perspective, not just the underwriting, but how you approach angel invest. You were doing the angel investing as the initial jumping off point into the investing world. Did anything change once you went and started on more of the venture side of things, like more structured, and maybe even what was that process like, making that transition or learning that world to a certain degree away from just the pure angel investing?
Right. Well, honestly, the hardest part about managing a fund is the capital raising itself. It's humbling. Just the same process the founders have to go through. It's the same rejection and so forth. It's easy to give away money. It's hard to get money, and it's no different for an emerging manager as it is for a startup founder. It is just as difficult to go out there. So that's the humbling part, and it really kind of helps internalize and reset that mindset to have some empathy for the founders when they're pitching, because we're also out there pitching to say, okay, yeah, I understand how hard it is to do that. And so that helps reset some of that empathy for them in the process. And other than that, it's really very much the same, other than I need to be cognizant about having a process, documenting our process, writing investment memos, which for myself, I don't have to. So just having a discipline, which is all good practices. It's part of the reason we started the fund, but it's also great to be able to have that brand. It was kind of difficult without the brand as an angel investor to kind of say who I was. It was like every time I would do an intro to a founder, and there'd be this whole kind of long rambling story about my history as an operator.
Yeah.
When you have a fund and now the fund has a brand, it has a website, it has a portfolio. I probably could have done that as an angel, but never really did. I never set up back then a brand. And till near the end where I started to create a blog, I still don't have a portfolio page on there. I've actually never published my angel investment portfolio. And I put a track record from it and a summary in our deck for the fund, but not publicly. And so that's really the big difference. Is it's great to have a brand, and then to be able to have a thesis and be able to refer people to your website, and be able to have the resources to say and do all that. You have a team, you can invest, you can hire an analyst, you can say, okay, well, since we have a VC fund and we have a management fee and we have these resources, let's go ahead and do everything right. It gives you an excuse to put some money into it and some thought into it to do it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going off of that, I'm sure that each time you brought up a really good point where uh, it's like that same process that a founder goes through, but you're getting that firsthand as you're raising those funds. And you mentioned that you're on fund
Mhm.
3, I believe.
Mhm.
What was that process like? I'm really curious if it was like harder on fund 1 or 2 or 3, and like what that process
Right.
was like as a lived experience of
Yeah.
having gone and done it each time. If you have any insights into, what that difference might be for a founder who's talking to a fund or an emerging VC who's going after
Right.
like fund 2, and when to do that,
Right.
any lessons you've learned.
So it's helped me understand the same thing that the founders go through with their initial enterprise sales. It's very easy to sell to your warm acquaintances, to
Mm-hmm.
your network, people who know you and trust you from your prior life, people you've worked with before, people who actually personally know you, will take your call, will take your meeting, and will be open to, they're coming in wanting to say yes. And it might not be the right timing, they might not have money, they might, not want to invest in venture in general, but they're very receptive, they're warm, and you'll get a good meeting, and whether or not you get a check, and you might even get some referrals. Going out to people you don't know, even just 1 degree out, is completely different. And going out to institutions is another whole level and completely different, and much, much harder to get any traction without. It's a completely cold process. And that's where I see the same thing for enterprise sales for startups. And I see that a startup can get, so when a startup has some really amazing early traction, we have to dig in and say, okay, how did you get that? And it often turns out that it's founder led, it's their network. The founder and the co-founder, their warm intros from their network. And you say, okay, that's great. That's like us raising fund 1 from our network. And that seems easy in the beginning. Everyone's happy to take a meeting with you. And that's because they know you're your friend. They've done business with you before. But that's not scalable. It's not repeatable, and it's not scalable, unfortunately. And I've seen a lot of startups struggle with that, just the way I struggled, say, on fund 2, trying to make a bigger fund. And before you know it, once you exhaust your network, it's really, really hard, and it's completely different. And the same thing for the founders. And early on, I invested in a lot of enterprise B2B SaaS where they had some amazing early traction. I was excited about the traction without digging into how they got that traction. What was the behind the scenes connection, to realize that it's all their network, and to realize it's not scalable and not repeatable. And a year later, they're still fumbling along and still really trying to figure out their go-to-market strategy. They start trying LinkedIn marketing, they start trying conferences, they start trying all these things, trying to figure out their go-to-market. And sometimes they never figure it out and they fail. They stay, and that's really a big problem. And that, that's why I focus now on what I look for specifically in enterprise sales, which I learned really the hard way through my personal experience and through having invested in many that struggled with that after I invested in them, is that you need a repeatable, scalable sales process. That's the one key. It's the one sentence to keep repeating. It's a repeatable, scalable sales process. So show me a go-to-market strategy, in industry terminology, show me a go-to-market strategy that works.
Yeah.
That you've implemented and that works, and that's, works means it's also economical, meaning that your client acquisition cost is in line with your lifetime value of your customer.
Mm-hmm. That is such an amazing, like, I guess it's intuitive when you hear it, but I'm sure it was just not intuitive because you see these logos, you see, oh, they've got traction. And it's so interesting to hear how after going through it, it's one of those things that you can only get to a certain degree by going through. You added and improved that underwriting process to how you're approaching things today, it sounds like. Wow. Very, very fascinating. And in terms of just the final question that I have here, and then I want to be respectful of your time as well, is if there's one big key piece of advice that you would give to a founder, or key insight that you think a founder should keep in mind as they're going and raising money, what do you think founders should be aware of or keep in mind as they're going and approaching that process of trying to raise capital?
Yeah, I'll break it up into a couple little areas. So one, don't raise until you absolutely have to. Try to do as much as you can without raising. Build a product, get some early traction. If there's any way to do so, just do so. Struggle along, figure it out. Hold off on raising until you at least have a live product with some customers somewhere. It's not applicable to all industries. It's not quite the same in some deep tech fields. Over there, traction means something else. We don't have time to get into all that. But in general, for most startups, build it and get some early traction, and build it with your customers and iterate before you go out to raise. And if you're not sure how or where to raise, if you're a first-time funder, I'm a big believer in accelerator programs. There's a lot of amazing ones out there right now, and most of them by far are worth it, worth the equity you're going to give away. The what you get out of that's amazing. I've seen it change the lives of many, 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 many founders. So take the time and apply to accelerator programs. I mean, unless you have a great network of investors and already know what you're doing and don't need any help, then go out there and write. But if you're not in that category, which is most, especially first-time founders, apply to accelerators and go to the best one that accepts you, that's relevant to your industry. And yeah, it will change your life. It'll make everything so much easier. Don't worry about the equity you're giving away. I have no affiliation with any other than, I know many, and I attend their demo days and get their deal flows, and do some mentoring at some, but I have no stake in steering you anywhere. I'm just saying I've seen it help a lot. And lastly, venture capital is not for everyone. The VC model is based on the power law, and they're looking for those unicorns. They need that 100x. They need any investment they make to be able to be a fund returner. So they basically need you to be able to, in 5 to 7 years, exit for 100 times the value they're investing at. And if they're investing at a seed stage at a 10 million valuation, you have to be $1 billion company at least at the exit. So that's the math. That's where, and that is true for a very small segment of startups. A lot of companies are better growing slower. So once you take venture capital, the pressure is to grow at all costs. And that kills a lot of startups. So a lot of startups would have been better off not taking venture capital and growing slower. And one alternative in between venture capital and no capital, besides bank debt or whatever else, or just doing it organically, is angel investing. And angel investors isn't necessarily a step you take before you get VC. It's an alternative to VC. And in fact, angel investors are typically, on average, more conservative. And I'm referring to the angel groups. There's over 300 angel groups around just in the US. There's ACA, the Angel Capital Association. It's an association of angel groups. I've attended a couple of their national conferences. It's amazing, representing one of our local angel groups. And their angels and angel groups can get you the funding, especially at seed stage. They have the same mentality I have, in a sense, where they won't invest pre-seed for the most part. They want traction, they want execution. But the way I see it, and it took me many years to be able to understand this and articulate it, the difference from angel groups to venture capital is the venture capital is looking for the power law. They're investing to win, and they're okay actually coming in early and making big bets and having 19 out of 20 portfolio companies fail as long as one of them's, you know, a home run. Angel investors are investing their own money. They're a little more conservative. And they're kind of, I would say angel investors invest not to lose, whereas VCs invest to win. And that sounds negative, but in some sense, that is the mindset. If you really put them on the spot, and you'll find out that that's really, they might not even think about it that way, articulate that way, but that's my observation. And I'm guilty of that myself. So we're happy coming into a deal where a founder comes in to an angel group and says, here's where we are today. You know, it took us 2 years. We got to $1 million in ARR, and now we're raising, you know, whatever. We need $2 million to kind of really scale this. And we see an exit to a strategic, you know, and in 3 years, we can probably be worth $200 million and have an exit to a strategic. VCs won't invest in that. A 5x exit's not enough for them, and they want the unicorn. So when you're talking about having a $2 million exit in 5 years, that's an automatic no to all VCs. You
Yeah.
need to be able to say how you can be a $10 billion company. And it's not necessarily appropriate for a lot of startups. So,
Yeah.
but
That's amazing advice. Yeah.
angel investors will jump on that when they say, okay, it's already de-risked. The chance of this going to zero are pretty slim because a strategic will buy you, and whether it's a 5x or a 20x, you know, they're happy with a 5 to 20x in 3 to 5 years with a pretty limited chance of it being a zero. And that's kind of the angel mindset. So if you're more comfortable building a business that's going to grow a little slower, and you want a little less pressure from your board to just step on the gas, floor it all the way and go for broke. You want to kind of just grow something slower. You're doing something that seems like it leans itself towards growing slower, and you just need some money. You don't need continuous money. You're not going to need round after round after round of increasing round sizes to kind of burn money to grow. You just need a couple $1 million so you can get them to break even and then grow organically. Then go to angel groups. Do the tour around the country of the angel groups, which mostly can be done on Zoom nowadays, and you know, raise money that way. And I live in both worlds still. I've spent 15 years now in both worlds between the two, and you know, that's my distillation in kind of 30 seconds of what I compare and contrast after 15. I did not know this. Even 5 years ago, I didn't really fully understand this, but I can now clearly see this. And, you know, that's where I can really steer a lot of founders that I meet to say, that are looking for VC and coming to me and are saying, well, I think you're better off actually with angel group than with VC. And sometimes the other way around, I'm saying you really need to get into the VC world because you're going to need big money. You're growing fast, and angels aren't going to cut it for you. But I can, you know, say go one way or the other. So they're two distinct paths of raising capital. So the bottom line is don't raise too early. And when you do raise, think about really how fast you want to grow and where's the appropriate source of capital for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. The one thing I want to double click into, because I feel like you'd have a really interesting insight, is on that first point when you said don't raise too early, or like wait as much as you can. Are there any like signs or signals that like a founder can keep in mind to kind of know if they're like waiting long enough? I know I said last question before, but I just really wanted to double click into that because I'm so curious.
I think I said it, but maybe I didn't articulate it well. Ship a live product and have early customers.
Live product and early customers.
Have people using your product, hopefully also paying you for it, but at least using it, you know, so that you can build something that people are willing to pay for it. That would be amazing. Because when you're coming in just saying, oh, we have everything ready and we have a wait list, and right after we raise this round, we're going to go live. We have our launch set for 2 weeks from now. You know, the first thing any investor thinks to themselves, like, well, why are you raising now? Why are you not just waiting till you get those first customers and show me that someone's actually willing to pay for this and they like your product before you go to raise? It's that's like day and night, you know, the pre and the post. You couldn't wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it just sets so much doubt to say we're 2 weeks away from, you know, we have a launch set. Like
Mhm.
say someone came to me today and say, yeah, we have our product launch set for October 1st and we're excited. We have a wait list of people who want to use it. It's like, well, what?
Why didn't you just wait until you launched it?
Yeah,
Those 2 weeks,
why are
yeah.
you talking to me today? It's like, come back to me in mid-October and tell me how it went.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, thank you so much, David. This was amazing. I learned so much. This is going to be an absolutely amazing episode, all clipped up, and we'll get some cool shorts clips from it as well, and I'll send all those over. And hopefully hopefully they can be useful for you too. But yeah, is there anything that I guess you wanted to cover before we sign off here?
I think we're good. Anyone want to find me? I'm pretty open. Emerging.vc is our website. My personal blog is davidmendel.blog or just mendel.blog. They both go to the same place. And from there, you got links to all my contact information. So, if anyone needs to reach out to me for anything, I'm easily findable.
All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll include the links to in the show notes and everything with your handles, your blog. And once again, thank you so much for the time. This was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, William, for putting this together.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All righty. Guys, you guys heard it from the man, the myth, the legend himself, David Mandel. My room is so hot. I am sweating in this. You guys can probably see it. Sweating in this hoodie. And now that we're speaking of the hoodie, I mean, this is probably the best hoodie I've ever worn. The only other hoodie that is maybe this good is the other black hoodie that I have. But this is just an amazing hoodie. It's just that my room is very hot. All right. All right. Bro, I am sweating. I really need to cool off. I'm gonna go change out of this hoodie. And as I'm gone, before I come back, Stefan, anyone else in the chat, let us know what you thought of the conversation with David. Oh my God. I feel a million times better. Thinking David has great tennis skills. Dude, I'm gonna have to get a game in with David. Oh, okay. Wow. Feeling way better. I was getting overheated in there. All right. I'm going to have to play David in some tennis. We'll get a game going. Interesting. Let's watch this video.
Kind of like two pillars.
So guys, before I play this, Ben Horowitz. This guy's a beast, legend of the investing world, startup world. Anyway, he in this video, it looks like he's talking about crypto is the missing layer, giving AI money, identity, provenance against deepfakes, and a decentralized registry of truth. So with that said, let's listen to what Ben has to say.
AI is, if you look at the evolution of computing, it's always been in kind of like two pillars. One is computers, and the other is networks. So starting with like microwaves and integrated circuits, and going to mainframes and SNA, to PCs and LANs, to the internet and the smartphone. They always they're very different technology bases, but one without the other is never nearly as powerful. And if you think about AI, what is a network that AI needs? So first of all, in order for AI to be really valuable, it has to be an economic actor. So AI agents have to be able to buy things, have to be able to get money, that kind of thing. And if you're an AI, you're not allowed to have a credit card. You have to be a person, you have to have a bank account, you have to have social security, all these kinds of things. So credit cards don't work as money for AIs. So the logical thing, the internet native money, is crypto. It's a bearer instrument, you can use it and so forth. So crypto is kind of like the economic network for AI. It's also, if you think about things like bots, how do you know something's a human? Crypto's the answer for like proving that you're a human being. Crypto turns out to be the answer for provenance. So like, is this a deep fake? Like, is this really me? Or is this like a fake video of me? How do I verify that it's actually me? And then if I verify that it's actually me, where should that registry of truth live? You should live, should we trust the US government what's true? Should we trust Google what's true? Or should we trust the game theoretic mathematical properties of a blockchain on what's true? So it's like a very kind of valuable piece of infrastructure.
All right. Now that we finished up that incredible conversation with David, the man, the myth, the legend of investing. Now that we've finished that up, we're going to call Andres and Leo. Told them we'd call them. We'll see what they're up to. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, guys. So Stefan is downloading Fortnite. Apparently Fortnite made a new voice, and Stefan's going to go and trash talk his enemies. No, but a new voice will allow you to trash talk your enemies on Fortnite. That is true. But with the time that we have now, I will share this with you guys. We have been making moves. Not small moves, not like a little tiny move. We've been making big moves, like massive moves at MyWorker. And it's one of those things that there's the dam. Picture a dam in your mind. You can feel free to close your eyes if you want. Picture a dam, and it's holding water. Water is just building up and building up. And like, this water is actually the MyWorker momentum. And it's just, there's so much water behind this dam. And eventually, if you put enough water behind a dam, it will break. And the dam that is about to be broken is going to be like a rocket fuel for MyWorker. And it's going to go potentially past Mars. Who knows how far this is going to go? But there is so much activity, guys. And this is the amazing thing that you guys are getting to witness very early on. Because, guys, we've built built a company before. We've grown a company. But right now here with MyWorker, you are seeing us go from these early stages where chatting with customers, making moves with the hiring, getting investment partners, figuring out how we're going to scale this thing, doing all of these things. And albeit, we're not live streaming 24/7, but you guys are seeing moves being made on stream, and then we're also off stream making a couple of moves as well. So there's a lot of things happening. And guys, this is where the movie gets fucking crazy. This is where the movie goes. The movie was interesting, of course, but it was laying the foundation, and the foundation has been laid in this initial part of the movie, and we're about to hit a dramatic inflection point in this movie, and you guys are going to get to see it live. You guys, imagine if you go to a movie and you affect the outcome of the movie, and it's not just a movie, but then that happened in real life. That is the opportunity that you have in joining our streams and watching MyWorker AI and this channel get built in real time. I mean, we just started this. This is just getting started. We're already at, I think, 200 subscribers on YouTube. And that's not even including all the other platforms. But guys, this is happening. This is happening live. I'm just looking up how many subscribers we have. 200 subscribers. You couldn't be, this is so early, guys, so early, okay? And I mean, this could, like Stefan mentioned, be potentially a documentary later on. We're documenting this live building. You're seeing the ups and the downs. We've hopped on customer calls before where there's a random bug. It's like, how do we adjust? How do we pivot? How are we using AI in the day-to-day grind trying to build this thing? And we're doing all of it. We're forming alliances. That call earlier today, although you guys weren't able to listen in on it fully, a major alliance was formed. And you guys heard about this directly after, okay? Directly after. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. And yes, Stefan, we are saving the videos in our drive. So, we might have to find a way to even start doing documentaries ahead of time. I feel like everything from the first stream till now, you can make a great documentary. After we close this, this next round of capital, we bring in the mill and, put some of these generals in place. It's been like a whole story already, but the movie is just getting started. We're about to go hog wild, guys. Leo, what's good, dog?
Hey, how's it going?
Dude, I just got off the podcast. I was actually getting ready to potentially sign off, but
Okay.
dude, I mean, now that we're here, dude, catch me up. How's your flying car company going? Info
Pretty
station. I'll
good.
pull it up on screen, guys. Stefan, did you know that Leo was building a flying car? If you didn't know, now you know. I'm
Yes, so
pulling up
the
his website.
most recent thing pretty much is what we did with Info Station. I tested it on, with iOrchestra. I tested it on Info Station, and we have now a product ready to control everything in the vehicle. So pretty much you can talk to it and tell it, open the door, open basically Netflix on the screen, open turn on the temperature to certain temperature, set up navigation to this direction, and it will do all of that. And I tested all of that. I have it on, maybe I'll do a demo sometime, show you. But I recorded it on my phone. I showed it to Andres. And so that's for like all the vehicle control stuff. And then we tested another thing for basically doing general search. So like say you're searching for something on the internet and you want to search it inside the vehicle because it's autonomous. you're not flying it, so you pretty much have not much to do inside the vehicle. So basically, it can search for things on the internet. It can basically use a ChatGPT model. So I tested it with Perplexity models. I installed the Perplexity model into our model, and then it works. And then I also tested it with GPT model as well, and it also works. And I used two different models for two different things in the vehicle, but pretty much you could use either. You can, I used the Gemini model for languages, so you can even talk to it in any language. And then even inside like when you're in the vehicle, and if you have multiple people speaking different languages, they can all speak the language instantaneously without having to tell it, hey, translate to this language. It will auto detect basically. So whatever you say, will hear it. So that's kind of, cool, like able to basically combine all the models in one place and then do the cool things that iOrchestra can do, and then at the same time do like control of the vehicle and searching for things and that. So that's where we at so far.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, I actually been playing your video from your website on stream as you were talking. It's
Yeah,
playing right now on the stream.
it's pretty cool. So yeah, I wanted to. So when we were at the A16Z event, I met a guy that has a ride app, and I basically set up a deal with him. So once we finish that deal, the ride feature will be active even before the vehicles fly. It's kind of crazy.
The ride feature will be active.
Yeah. So he has so we're gonna buy the license from him basically. So I'll pay him 100K to be able to use his software and do the same things we do in InvoStation basically.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. And basically the way it works right now, it works on the ground. And if you think about it with InvoStation, it works the same way, because when you're trying to pick up a vehicle, you're going to pick it up from the ground, right? And then when you're going to land, you can land on the ground. So the only thing will be different is, so, even finding the route will be the same because we mapped our routes over streets and highways.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, sorry to jump in. Stefan asked some
yeah.
questions. So he said, well, first, I'm showing the video. He said that's some Dubai shit. But he said, he asked a question, why do we need little UFOs? So, Leo, why do you think we need flying vehicles?
Yeah, so there's two main reasons all the, people that's making larger drones for personal transportation trying to resolve. First problem is traffic. Especially like if you're in LA, you really understand how bad traffic can get. So the main problem is traffic, and we're trying to shift traffic to the air. We're building basically 3 vertical lanes over the streets and highways. So imagine each highway will have 3 more highways that way in the skies. So that's the first problem. The second problem, which has pretty much been my drive and motivation for everything I've done so far, is emission. We're trying to reduce emission, and having clean transportation is one of the best ways to reduce emission. So basically, imagine if you're on a street and every single vehicle is electric, you can literally breathe the cleanest air possible in big crowded cities where you have a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic, a lot of cars. And it's obviously tough to do that on the ground just because there's already hundreds of thousands of vehicles that's already pre-built and manufactured certain ways. But you can do it in the sky, and you can shift some of that transportation on the ground to the sky and reduce the emission that way. And then you'll have very different view in the skies in crowded cities like in LA, in big cities in Japan, in China, in San Francisco, England, wherever you go. So these are the two main problems that every company in our field trying to resolve, and that's why you would need that kind of vehicle. Our vehicle can carry 3 passengers, and then the next model will carry 6 passengers.
So
And actually,
he's asking, is it solar powered?
it's electric, fully electric. So right now it's not solar powered. but we have a model that we're testing that has solar panel on top of it, not to power it, but it's basically when you're parked on the street, it will just charge it for free because I have long hours of just parking on the street for exposed to the sun, so it will give it enough time to charge. Usually solar power, think of it this way: if you have long hours of exposure to the sun, that's the only way it will work, because you need a long time to charge with solar. Otherwise, you need like massive solar panels to charge large battery. And you understand power well. This battery is 75 kW, 8 kilowatts per hour. 75 kilowatts per hour. It's a massive battery, So to charge it, you need massive solar panel, or you need a regular size solar panel for long hours, 12 hours, or whatever time you leave it in the sun. So that's kind of like a charging assistance system. So we'll give you free charge when it's parked on the street. Yeah, so that's kind of, but that one is still in testing. It's not
Awesome.
deployed yet.
And so he asked, is this design the most efficient, or do you just want to build UFOs?
It's pretty much the most efficient on a lot of different ways. One of the main reasons is to hide the propellers inside the body of the vehicle so they're safe. So if you would have thousands of them near buildings and people, they'll be safe. People will not be exposed to these large blades and propellers. And then the second reason, even like for like pretty much every other model that's similar to drone, if you lose one propeller, the whole vehicle will go down. In our model, we have 12 of them inside the vehicle, and there's extreme redundancy. So you could technically use 8 out of the 12 and still take off and land safely. You would not want it to like fly for a long time like that, but it just shows you there's a high level of redundancy, and there's no matched redundancy in any similar technology.
Yeah, guys, I've seen the vehicle in person. Not like fully fly yet, but I saw the body and everything. It looks super dope. Looks very cool. Dude, I'm
Yeah,
so pumped for it to be fully finished and to try flying in it.
I'll do some sometime on your podcast. I'll give you some special view for things that's not been seen yet.
Dude, yeah, hit me up anytime you want. Like, you've got footage or stuff that you want me to toss on stream. I'd be down to, if you're comfortable sharing it, I'd be down to toss it up. I feel like
Sounds
that'd be
good. I'll
sweet.
show it to you first and then to your podcast.
Sounds good, bro. I'm down. I'm down. Stefan, you're gonna get to see you're gonna get to see Leo's flying vehicle. So I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about hopping off stream, or there's a really interesting thing that I want to do, like an experiment that I'm wondering whether to kick off now or kick off tomorrow.
What's the experiment?
So we are doing 100 domain MyWorker account. So my team just hit me up saying that there's 100 email domains purchased, ready, and warmed up in the account.
Wow, that's crazy.
100. Guys, 100 email domains ready.
So that's like 33 company? You give like 3 per company, or how does it work usually?
I get 5 per company.
5 per
or 3
company.
to 5, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty good.
So we are about to get rolling in clients. Damn.
Yeah. I have a whole strategy set up to when we raise funding to use your software as our sales agents, basically. But we need to be able to afford it first.
Dude, I am so pumped to do this. Maybe later tonight. I feel like I need to go. I told my girlfriend I'd go grab coffee with her. So
yeah,
I should probably go do that.
yeah, go for
after
it.
the podcast. But
Try
Dude, I don't know. It's so fun talking with you and Andres. I want to just like keep hanging out, you know?
Yeah, I feel the same
It's so
every
addictive.
time. Exactly. Man, if we set up, so me and Andres trying to set up those meeting rooms, we haven't showed you, but when we were online, we were in basically a whole company building with offices and conference rooms, all like virtual. So you just adjust it to your desk, and then that's how it
Oh,
works.
virtual conference rooms?
Yeah, it's like in VR, you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
AR
yeah.
VR mixed. So
Dude,
if we can
that
get
was
something to
so
work,
funny
I'm
walking
pretty sure
into
you would love to try it.
dude, seeing Andres in the metaverse was hilarious,
I
dude.
know.
Dude,
I'll
well,
tell
his
you all
first
the.
avatar, like I was
I know you
dying
did.
laughing because he looked like such a little boy, you know?
That's so funny.
He
Yeah,
was
I'll
just
tell you
like,
all
but then he was saying crazy shit like Andres
offline.
does, so it's just so funny seeing the two.
Yeah. I'm about to pick up Mira right now. Let's chat later after.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I'll catch you later.
Catch you later.
Enjoy. Peace.
Great talking. Bye.
All right, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna end this stream. Next time I hop on, all right, we're gonna do a sign off. This is one thing that I want to start doing, the sign off. So, we're closing down the stream. This stream was about 3 hours. Yeah, like literally like 3 hours. But want to say if it was your first time checking out the stream, subscribe, follow along the journey. We have massive things coming down the pipeline. It is going to be absolutely amazing. And if you are already subscribed, you're just checking out the stream once again, super grateful for you tuning in. I mean, you guys have a direct impact on what happens here on this experiment in real time. It's the most transparent building of a tech company ever done in human history, and you guys can be a part of it. Once again, just to recap, today we did mostly MyWorker building, working on MyWorker, helping, whether it was the podcast, closing, getting a lead investor, doing all these things, doing it live here for you guys. So super grateful. And then finally, want to mention that tomorrow we have massive, not just calls, but we're kicking off a massive outreach go-to-market campaign. You guys are going to see us slinging in deals after this. We're going to be getting appointments set and doing a unbelievable amount of outreach with our own tool, with MyWorker AI. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I mean, that's just a sneak peek. We always kick off with the news. We do these different things. We go live. We will be live at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, but we might go live earlier. So who knows? With that said, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, and make sure that you tune in to our live builds. Until next time, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.